In this episode of Final Moments, we remember a legendary musician who shaped a generation of sound, a skeptic who dedicated his life to uncovering the truth, a beloved illustrator who brought stories to life, a visionary designer who redefined innovation, a voice actor who defined an era of comedy, and a sports icon who defied the odds. If you're new here, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated as we celebrate the lives of those who shaped our world. Let's dive in. Number 1. Dwayne Wiggins. Today, we remember a legend, a pioneer, a man whose music shaped a generation. Dwayne Wiggins, co-founder of the iconic R&B group Tony, has passed away at the age of 64 after a courageous battle with bladder cancer. Born on February 14, 1961 in Oakland, California, Dwayne Wiggins grew up surrounded by the rich musical culture of the Bay Area. Influenced by blues, jazz, and gospel, he developed a signature guitar style that would later define the sound of Tony. In 1986, Wiggins co-founded Tony alongside his brother Raphael Saadiq and cousin Timothy Christian Riley. Blending traditional R&B with the emerging new jack swing sound, the group created a fresh, dynamic style that resonated with audiences worldwide. As a producer and arranger, Wiggins had a keen ear for live instrumentation. At a time when R&B was shifting toward electronic production, Tony remained committed to using real instruments, giving their music a rich, organic feel. This arrangement can be heard in the lush string arrangements of Anniversary and the tight groove-driven bass lines in Whatever You Want. Beyond his work in Tony, Wiggins was a mentor and producer who helped shape the careers of some of today's biggest stars. In the mid-90s, he signed and developed Destiny's Child under his label Grassroots Entertainment, playing a key role in their early sound. He also worked with artists like Alicia Keys, Her, and Kehlani, fostering the next generation of R&B talent. He was a mentor, a producer, and a guiding light for rising stars. Through his House of Music studio, he nurtured talents like Zendaya, Her, Kehlani, and even played a pivotal role in the early career of Destiny's Child. In 2023, after decades apart, the original members reunited. It was a full-circle moment, proof that despite the challenges, family and music always brought them back together. Dwayne Wiggins' impact on R&B is immeasurable. Through his timeless music, innovative production, and dedication to mentorship, he leaves behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations. As we remember his contributions, let's celebrate the music he gave us and the artists he helped uplift. Number 2. Joe Nickell. Joe Nickell, a name synonymous with skepticism and scientific inquiry, spent over 5 decades investigating the unexplained. Born in 1944 in West Liberty, Kentucky, Nickell began as a magician and private investigator before turning his attention to the paranormal. Nickell's early investigations were as varied as they were intriguing. From the Mackenzie House haunting in Toronto to dowsing for gold in the Yukon, he approached each case with a unique blend of skepticism and open-mindedness. His work in The Shroud of Turin, beginning in 1977, would become one of his most famous endeavors. Using forensic techniques, Nickell demonstrated that the shroud was likely a medieval artifact, not the burial cloth of Jesus. Nickell joined the Committee for the Scientific Investigation of Claims of the Paranormal, or CSICOP, in the 1980s, becoming a senior research fellow. He traveled the world investigating crop circles in England, the Oak Island Mystery in Canada, and weeping icons in Russia. He examined crop circles in England, explored the Oak Island treasure mystery in Canada, and even investigated claims of alien hybrids in Germany. His work wasn't just confined to the paranormal, he also tackled historical enigmas such as the authenticity of the James Maybrick Jack the Ripper diary and the authorship of The Night Before Christmas. Author of over 30 books, Nickell explored topics from religious relics to cryptids. His work wasn't just about debunking, but understanding why people believe in the paranormal. Nichols' evidence-based approach often also put him at odds with paranormal proponents. His famous debate with the Warrens highlighted his commitment to science over sensationalism. Joe Nickell passed away in 2025, leaving a legacy of rigorous investigation. In a world of mysteries, he reminded us to ask one simple question: what is the evidence? Number 3. Uri Shulevitz. Uri Shulevitz, the Caldecott Medal-winning illustrator and author, once said, "Drawing enabled me to create worlds, real or fantastic." For over 6 decades, Shulevitz did just that, creating picture books that captured the imagination of children and adults alike. But his journey to becoming one of the most celebrated figures in children's literature was anything but ordinary. Born in Warsaw, Poland on February 27, 1935, Uri Shulevitz began drawing at the age of 3. His parents, born creatively inclined, nurtured his talent. But his childhood was shattered in 1939 when Germany invaded Poland. At just 4 years old, Shulevitz witnessed the bombing of Warsaw. A bomb even fell into the stairwell of his apartment building. His Jewish family fled, becoming refugees for 8 years. They moved through Poland, the Soviet Union, and Germany, finally settling in Paris in 1947. During this harrowing journey, Shulevitz found solace in art. He drew with whatever he could find. Sticks in the dirt, burnt twigs as charcoal. As he later wrote in his graphic memoir, Chance, "If I could create such worlds, how could I ever be lonely?" After settling in Paris, Shulevitz fell in love with French comics. At 15, he exhibited at the Tel Aviv Museum of Art. In 1959, he moved to New York, studying painting and illustrating Hebrew children's books. His first book, The Moon in My Room, was published in 1963. Shulevitz's unique style, delicate ink lines, and vibrant watercolors earned him acclaim. He won the 1969 Caldecott Medal for The Fool of the World and The Flying Ship, and received 3 Caldecott honors. His work often drew from his wartime experiences, transforming trauma into tales of hope. Uri Shulevitz passed away on February 15, 2025, just 2 weeks shy of his 90th birthday. His life was a testament to the power of art to transcend adversity. Through his books, he gave children and adults a window into worlds both real and imagined. As he once said, "All children draw, but I never stopped." And in doing so, he left an indelible mark on the world of children's literature. Number 4. Gene Winfield. In the world of automotive design, few names carry the weight and legacy of Gene Winfield. A pioneer of custom car culture, Winfield's work transcended mere mechanics. It was art, innovation, and storytelling rolled into one. From the dry lakes of Bonneville to the futuristic streets of Blade Runner, his creations defined eras and inspired generations. Born Robert Eugene Winfield in 1927, Gene's journey began in Springfield, Missouri, but it was in Modesto, California, where his passion for cars ignited. At just 16, he built his first aluminum car body, and by 1946, he opened Winfield's Custom Shop. His early innovations in custom paint jobs, like the iconic Winfield Fade, set him apart. This technique, blending 2 candy colors seamlessly, became a signature. By the 1960s, Winfield's work gained national recognition. Cars like the Jade Idol and Solar Scene showcased his mastery of color and form. But Winfield wasn't just a painter, he was a fabricator, a designer, and a visionary. His creations weren't just cars, they were statements. In 1964, Winfield unveiled the Reactor, a mid-engine front-wheel drive marvel powered by a turbocharged Covair engine and built on a Citroën DS chassis. Its hydro-pneumatic suspension and low-profile design made it a star, literally, appearing in Bewitched and Batman. It was a testament to Winfield's ability to blend cutting-edge technology with bold design. Winfield's work caught the attention of Hollywood. Perhaps his most iconic contribution to film was in Blade Runner 1982, where he built 25 vehicles, including the iconic Spinner. Collaborating with Sid Mead, Winfield brought the film's dystopian vision to life, blending sleek futurism with gritty realism. Gene Winfield passed away on March 4, 2025 at the age of 97, but his legacy lives on in every custom car, every fade paint job, and every builder who dares to dream. As Gene once said, every day is a school day, and for those who learn from him, the lessons continue. Number 5. George Lowe. Edward George Lowe, a name synonymous with irreverence, wit, and a voice that defined a generation of animated absurdity. Born on November 10, 1957 in Dunedin, Florida, Lowe's career spanned over 4 decades, leaving an indelible mark on the world of voice acting and comedy. Today, we're diving into the life, career, and legacy of the man behind Space Ghost and so much more. Lowe's most iconic role was Space Ghost in Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Debuting in 1994, Lowe's deadpan delivery and surreal humor turned a forgotten superhero into a cult icon. He voiced Space Ghost in all 110 episodes, making him the definitive voice of the character. Lowe also surprised the role in Cartoon Planet and made memorable appearances in Aqua Teen Hunger Force, The Brak Show, and Robot Chicken, where he voiced characters like the perverted unicorn, showcasing his comedic range. Before voice acting, Lowe started in radio at 15, working at WWJB in Florida. He later studied at the Radio Engineering Institute of Sarasota and Pasco Hernando Community College, laying the groundwork for his versatile career. Lowe once said, "Insanity became en vogue thanks to us." His work on Space Ghost Coast to Coast set the tone for Adult Swim's brand of comedy, influencing shows like the Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo. Beyond voice acting, Lowe was a self-taught artist. His intricate pen and ink drawings were displayed in museums, including Atlanta's High Museum of Art, where they remain part of the permanent collection. On March 2, 2025, George Lowe passed away at the age of 67 in Lakeland, Florida, following complications from heart surgery. His death marked the end of an era, but his legacy lives on in the countless characters he brought to life and the laughter he inspired. Number 6. Fred Stolle. Fred Stolle was a champion in an era of legends. A key figure in Australian tennis, he won 17 Grand Slam double titles and 2 major singles championships. Yet for all his success, he remained an underrated giant of the game. Stolle passed away on March 6, 2025, leaving behind a lasting legacy in the sport. Born in Hornsby, Australia in 1938, Fred Stolle came from humble beginnings. His father, a railway worker, introduced him to tennis at a local club. Without the financial support to go full-time, Stolle worked in a bank while refining his serve and volley game, a style that would become his trademark. His early years were shaped by the strict and often brutal coaching of Harry Hopman. Stolle was publicly dismissed as not good enough to make it in tennis. That humiliation ignited a fire in him, one that would drive his future success. Stolle's breakthrough came at Roland Garros in 1965. On a surface that typically punished serve and volley players, he adapted his game, defeating compatriot Tony Roche in 4 sets. A year later, Stolle faced yet another challenge, being left unseeded at the US Championships. Fueled by that snub, he played what he called the best match of his life, dismantling Roy Emerson in the semifinals and overcoming John Newcombe in the final. But for all his achievements, Wimbledon remained his white whale. 3 consecutive finals, 3 crushing defeats, 2 at the hands of his great rival Roy Emerson. Despite being a world-class grass court player, the title always eluded him. Whilst Dolly's singles career had its frustrations, his doubles career was near unparalleled. With 10 men's doubles and 7 mixed doubles Grand Slam titles, he was one of the most reliable partners of his era. He thrived in the high-pressure moments, winning key Davis Cup ties and securing 3 US Open men's doubles titles.